Hello everybody, and welcome to another That Matt 85. This is another Goodwill Games recording, and today we are looking at Tron 2.0 that I got from a thrift store for about $1, I believe. This is a sequel to the Tron movie from 1982. I don't believe it is related to Tron Legacy, but I haven't delved either far enough into this game or into the movie Tron Legacy to 100% know that for sure. As you may know, the original Tron takes place with the main character being Kevin Flynn, and the Tron Legacy movie takes place with the main character being his son Sam Flynn. Kevin Flynn's still in it. And in both movies, the character Alan Bradley was Kevin Flynn's business partner and coder, scientist, etc., helped him build the Tron and everything. This game takes place with the main character being his son Jethro, or Jet Bradley. A quick plot kind of recap here is that you are playing as Jet. Jet is kind of a super hacker, very smart, but just goose off in school because it's too easy for him kind of person, and is kind of getting in trouble. Well, Incom, the Tron company, is starting to get hostilely taken over by FCOM, a different evil corporation, and Jet here has accidentally put himself inside Tron, much like the original movie. And while he's inside the game here, he is seeing what is happening to his father and the company from behind the scenes, as well as seeing what they are doing to the computers, again from inside here, and being able to somewhat affect it and try to stop it. He is also able to see some of the emails that have been passed through the system that kind of tells the story of what's happening, and we'll get to that later. But that's the major plot summary. As far as gameplay, first thing I noticed and equated this to was the original Half-Life. Very similar look and style of game, with your weapon being the disc that you have, or that they had from the movie, but you can get other weapons too. The way the game progresses is that you'll have a bit of a cutscene before the level starts, and then you'll have a level to go through, which is always a new area. These cutscenes tell you the story, but so does some of the gameplay as you're going through it, by conversations with other people and by looking at the emails that you'll find to see what's happening in the real world. These emails reveal both the past and the future, and are from people such as Alan and Jet's principal, as well as the company that's trying to take over Incom and other insiders inside Incom, to give you a story of what everybody's thinking of and doing that normally wouldn't be shown to Jet in the game. As you progress through the game, you start getting these different power-ups that you can carry through to the next level. You also get experience points from doing different things, as we'll go over, and these permissions. These clear boxes that you see here are places where you can download these upgrades and permissions and emails. Once you're in the menu, you see these different slots here where you can fit your different upgrades into. You can also power up your upgrades by finding better versions or by upgrading them later. These upgrades can also get corrupted, in which case you want to set it into the trash can icon there, and that uncorrupts it after some time. These upgrades do things such as giving you better defense, stronger attack, different weapons that you can equip, and a couple different abilities such as being able to jump higher, run faster, be less detectable, or add, poison effect to your attacks, different things, and you can customize which ones you want to use, which ones you can't, as well as being able to fit them into the different slots to limit your choices from level to level as your slots change from level to level. There are also different attributes that you can raise as you gain levels. As you can see at the top left, it says Jet version 2.3.7. That is your level, and as soon as you go from version 2 to 3 whatever, then you now have the ability to pick different stats that you want to upgrade. The stats that you can upgrade include your health, your energy, how much energy your weapons use, how much how long it takes to uncorrupt files, how long it takes to download the files, and different things like that. Along with the different weapons and different upgrades that you can get, the different attributes fit into that as well too, so you can play the game the way that you want to play and not necessarily have to, is there a right solution? I immediately started pumping up my HP, and I didn't bother using the different weapons too often, so I didn't have much of a need for my weapons proficiency or my energy, although you end up having enough skill points to want to max out everything anyways. To talk about the stats, the two main ones that you're going to want to worry about is your HP, which is how much damage you can take before you die, and your energy, which is how much, basically energy is used for things such as your weapons or unlocking the different downloadables from these boxes here. Once you run out, you can no longer do that until you refill it, but there are refillable balls that you find on each level that give you more health or more energy. There are different weapons that have different benefits, but for the most part you always have your disc, and your disc is free of energy cost to use. It does a decent amount of damage, and if you can peg somebody's head, then it's going to do extra damage and most likely kill them. I never really found the need to have to use other weapons except for in this one little area here where you have to use these stun weapons because your disc is taken away, but that's the only little time where it got taken away. The experience for leveling up your stats and everything come from a few different places. One is, on each level there are a certain amount of items you can collect, and each time you collect them you gain 0.2 experience points basically. But you also get experience points for doing certain tasks throughout the game, and these tasks basically advance the game. So as you're going through the game, you're going to be leveling up at a certain pace, even if you're not getting any of the items that help you level up. And if you're getting those items, then you're just going to be a little bit more powerful than you would otherwise. That being said though, it is fun to look for them, and it's not so distressing that you feel like you need to have them, because they don't add as much experience as even just progressing through the game does. In the Half-Life style, this game is mostly run and gun. You can be a little bit stealthy at times, and there's a little bit of platforming at times, but the game is really clumsy with platforming, whereas it's hard to see exactly where you're going, and it's hard to gauge where you're going. Sometimes you just need to jump a little bit, but you can't make yourself jump a little bit, you have to jump a set amount. There's little ways to work around it, but like I said, it's very clumsy. It's not really meant to be much of a platformer. It's a bit more of a puzzle game where sometimes you have to go to certain places, unlock certain things, move certain items in certain ways to solve the puzzle and move on to the next section. But a lot of times it's mostly just running and gunning, getting through the level, finding the permissions you need to unlock different parts of the level, and then moving on. Also to go with gameplay is that basically you can save at any point you want. It's called the quick save, and it also saves after each level for you, and you can also pick points to save specifically without having to do the quick save to overwrite your last save, and you can have several save files to go back if you need to. There are parts of the game where you want to make quick saves as you're making progress. As far as the difficulty goes, there are no difficulty settings, but I feel like it does a great job with balancing the difficulty as you're going through the game. There are some sections that are kind of harder than other sections, but with being able to save the game and reload it at different points, you can kind of figure out what was going on, what surprised you, and look for it the next time without having to go back really far in the game and retrace your steps and redo what you already did before you died. I feel like the difficulty of this game is a very good setting for me anyways. It matches up very well to where there's nothing that I couldn't get past, but there are plenty of sections where I had to play it several times before I was able to get past it. Besides the gameplay though, there are other elements of the game that really stand out and I think do a great job. The first thing that hit me was basically the graphics and the music. Not necessarily that it's advanced graphically, it looks like a game from its time really, but the environment that it makes, the color choices and the art design, all very, very Tron-like. And this is more based on the original Tron, but being upgraded to look, I guess, kind of what they were going for. Now, if you compare that to Tron Legacy, the new movie, that is more like a super futuristic version of the Tron, I guess, look. It doesn't look like the original except upgraded. It just looks brand new, more hyper-visualized, re-visualized. This, like I said, is more of an upgrade to the original look. The sound effects seem to be pulled straight from the original movie, which ties it in very well to those movies. And the music is more of a modern techno type of music to go with this. I know Tron Legacy also did kind of modern techno, but at the time that Tron Legacy came out, techno was more kind of a Skrillex type of techno, whereas this is more of a Daft Punk type of techno. All of this put together means it's a fun experience. It's a fun game to play. It's not the most modern game, but that's just fine. When this came out, this was getting some serious praise from several different, especially the PC version, several different game magazines, blogs, etc., etc. I don't know if it ever became really a fan favorite, as apparently it undersold what it was expected to, but they did a really good job, so I would make this kind of a under-the-radar kind of game to look for. If you're into Tron, if you're into this futuristic look, if you want a Half-Life type of game, I feel like this did just a great job and would definitely recommend it to anybody that wants to play it. I am known for wanting to get games for older systems, and this one does technically work on Windows 98. However, to play this game at its fullest, you want a good, at least for Windows 98 times, you would want a really good graphics card, and it wants half a gig of RAM, which is the upper limits for a Windows 98 system, which makes it kind of hard to, I guess, to put on Windows 98, especially if you're wanting to play it and kind of see everything at its best. So I'm playing this on Windows XP. I don't know if you can play it on a more modern computer, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's on Steam or anything, or if you just need to get a CD version of it, or whatever you gotta do. I would recommend this over the Xbox version, apparently, and especially the Game Boy Advance version, which I haven't played, so I don't know if it's how similar it would be to this actual game, whereas Xbox might be a port of this game. So yeah, without getting to the nitty-gritty, I hope this was a good review and maybe a preview of the game. If you haven't played it yet before, where would you find this? Probably eBay, probably pretty cheap, or look at your own Goodwills, you never know. Maybe you have a friend that's had this game for a while. Definitely worth looking for, especially for, cheap game like this. This isn't like a really hard to find game that everybody wants. It's going to be jacked up in price. This is just a fun game you can find for a surprise and have a good time on an older system if you got one. With all that being said, this is Matt from ThatMatt85 again. Thank you for watching my review of Tron 2.0, my Goodwill Games video, and check out my other Goodwill Games videos on YouTube here if you'd like. Also check out my Twitter account to see what I'm doing more recently, as well as any thoughts on upcoming games, computer news, sports news, wrestling news. Check out my Twitch, ThatMatt85 on Twitch, to see when I'm live streaming different games. Generally, I just got a lot of stuff going on. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video at all. It really helps out. And any comments that you have, whether you've played the game or if you have any other questions that I haven't answered that you would like answered, I pay attention to the comments. Again, thank you very much, and see you next time.